Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Odin, and today we're going to be checking out Wayward. And you may be familiar with this game, or you may not, but it is a roguelike survival game. It's vaguely pirate-themed, and you start off on a randomly generated island, and you kind of survive for as long as you can, I suppose, and then you try to make a ship, and you sail on to another island. I've played a few hours into the game so far, so I think I'm actually just now feeling competent with the controls and how to handle it. There's a tiny bit of a learning curve, but I mean it's nothing terrible. But anyway, I'm gonna try to show you how to play the game as best I can with my limited knowledge. All right, so let's go to a new game. So when you go to a new game, you're going to be able to choose a save name for it, and I'll call this YouTube 01. Alright, and of course you can put in a seed because there is procedural generation, so if you would like to, you can do that. And then you have your different game modes here. So hardcore mode is actually the first thing on the list, and that's apparently because it is the default and definitive way to play, as it says here. In this mode, it's typical of roguelike games. The key here is that death is permanent. And if you do a multiplayer game, which I learned earlier today when I was playing with a friend, when somebody dies, if you still have hardcore mode on, if somebody dies, like that's it. Like they don't respawn, you know, like the game is over for them. And for some reason I wasn't expecting that when I was playing multiplayer. I don't know. But anyway, so keep that in mind. So you have casual mode where you can respawn. There's challenge mode with randomized difficulty modifiers and unique quests. And then you can of course customize things. Over here we have the turns. So there's essentially two choices here. You can have turn-based gameplay or you can have real-time gameplay. I would argue that the turn-based is more enjoyable, at least for me, because it's more of a roguelike staple. It's kind of what I'm used to. And you know, I like having a little bit of time to think, even though I'm a moron, and I usually have horrible ideas. So anyway, I'm going to keep it on manual turns here. And then down here you can obviously choose between single player and multiplayer. So I'm going to hit next. And here you'll either make a new character or select one of your existing characters. You can see that I have used this character 3 times now. And as far as I know, and I could be wrong, I could be very wrong here. As far as I know, nothing passes between, like when I died previously using this character, I don't think any of the skills that I had, you know, leveled up, or stats that I had leveled up, I don't think any of that transfers. So I think despite the fact that it's a pre-existing character, it's not necessarily a fresh start. Alright, so I'm just going to go with this character, just because I've already made it here. Alright. And let's see what kind of an island we're going to get. Alright, so here we are. This is the interface. I actually really like the art style here. It has, of course, a retro feel, but it's not necessarily as retro as it could be. You know what I mean? And I think it works rather well. So one thing right off the bat to notice is that you can zoom in this far, and you can zoom out that far. I must have played, I don't know, I was on my second day of playing, I guess, when I realized you could change the zoom. So anyway, I'm usually, I think, right about this level, or here. Unless I'm traveling around, I'm usually about here. But obviously you can find your desired zoom level, and, you know, just do what you want to do. Don't listen to me, especially not me, because I'm an idiot. So anyway, so that's an important thing to realize. Now next we'll look at the elements of the UI here. So up here we have our health, and then you see in parentheses strength. So health is tied to your strength stat. So apparently, and I'll just keep saying that to kind of, you know, cover my ass. Apparently that means that as your strength levels up, you will actually increase your max HP. Similarly, with stamina, it's connected to dexterity, so as you level up dexterity, you'll have a higher max stamina, and maybe it'll drain less quickly, something like that. Hunger is connected to the metabolism skill and the starvation skill. And again, as I understand it, you will it will take you longer to become hungry as you raise those skills, and then thirst, similar kind of thing. And then over here, this, I don't understand. I mean, I can see the difficulty. Maybe that's talking about the island. I really don't know what this stuff means here, but I do know what this is. This is the weight. This is how much I'm carrying and how much what my strength is. And as I understand, I think that this is actually, oh, I'm sorry, I think this is the max weight, not my strength. I think that's the max weight I can carry. And so once I go over that, I'm going to be encumbered. And then over here, this is my attack skill. And this is an interesting thing, is you can use both your hands or just one hand or the other. And of course, hands can become injured and things like that, so that might make that necessary. And then over here, you can see your defensive stats. Alright, down here you'll see your log and see everything that happens. Now also, if you want to do a tutorial mode, it's going to allow you to do that. You can just click on Welcome, and it'll tell you, okay, click Complete Quest to start the quest line. And so if you click here, you can start a tutorial. I've already done the tutorial, so I'm just going to skip and try and show you myself. Another thing that's very interesting about the game that you'll see down here, this alert, is that you will write notes from time to time. And basically, it's, a first-person account of what's going on, but it also gives you clues about what you can do and how you can do those things, which I think is very clever. It's, a more immersive way of giving that information to the player. And then as you unlock other things, you'll see those notes here. Over here we have our inventory, and we have a tattered shirt. And you can see that when you mouse over an item, you get to see its durability, its weight, a description, the category that the item falls into, how much it's worth, and you'll see other things depending on what type of item it is. Like here we have a leaf bedroll, and it tells you that it has different uses, and like rest, sleep, place down. Over here we have a large rock, and you can see it says dismantle. And below that it says stones times 3, and dismantling requires a hammer. So if you have a hammer, you can dismantle this large rock and get 3 stones in exchange. So just looking at some of these other things, we have some seeds. A sheaf of hay. Never had that before. You can use that to stoke a fire. Okay. More seeds. More seeds. Wow, that's a lot of seeds. Okay, then we have some shale. And you can see the description says it's a brittle but sharp carving implement. And we can carve and we can harvest with it. So that's very good to have, actually. There's a large rock. And then this is some tree bark, and you'll note that it has the blue outline. That's like a quality tier indicator. So it is remarkable. It has that not necessarily, I guess it's a prefix, but so that tells you that this is high quality here. We have a pole. Now this is great. You start, as far as I know, you always start with this one glass bottle, and it has purified fresh water, which means you can drink it no problem. You obviously cannot drink seawater, but there are freshwater sources, and what you have to do is you can either drink directly from the source, but you're risking something bad happening. Even if it's freshwater, it's not going to be purified. So instead you can gather it into the bottle, and at that point you can drink it, no problem. Or I'm sorry, I just lied to you. Then you boil it, I'm sorry. Then you boil it on a fire, and that's how you do it. Okay, I also have a hammer so I can repair. I have a fishing rod, that's great. And a red book. I've never had a book before. Alright, below that, this is all our equipment slots. Here is our crafting menu. These things above the line are things I can currently craft. Or attempt to craft, I should say. These are all recipes that I can look at them and say, oh, okay, I need 2 string and 1 pull to make a tourniquet, things like that. So normally what you do, let's kind of just get into it now. Now remember, it's turn-based, so no time has been passing or anything like that. Normally what you do is you just use WASD to move around. Alright, and you can see here's a tumbleweed of remarkable quality. So if you want to, you can, many items, you can walk right over them and it'll pick them up, but I've turned that option off. If you go into your options menu, and you go down to, I believe it's gameplay, yeah, there's auto pickup. This I think is on by default. Sometimes you're trying to get things out of your inventory and you you have to walk over some things and you don't want to pick them up, so I turned it off. So if I want to pick that up, I can just basically right-click on it, and it gives me options, whatever I can do with it. Carve it with a tool, gather it with my hands. So I'll just try to see if I can gather it with my hands. And so I made an attempt, and it says here, you hack away at the remarkable tumbleweed, but do not produce any resources yet. So I can basically try to do that again. I failed, but there you see my skill in botany has raised to 0.1%. So every skill in the game is increased by you doing whatever activities are associated with that skill. Alright, so we're going to try to pick this up, and there we go. So what we got plant roots. Now these are good because with other ingredients you can actually make a medicinal root, I think is what it's called, to heal yourself, which is great. But you can also see that we can make a string, and strings are very useful, so I'm actually going to craft one there. And you see there, I have crafted a string, and my skill in tinkering has raised to 1%. We have a few other options of what to make now. We can make a bow, for instance. We can also make a stone spear, which is what I'm going to do. Alright, now you see I actually failed right there. But my skill went up again, so I still got some skill XP, even though I failed. We can try it again. We failed again, but we went up to 3%. Alright, and there we go, we have one. So when it comes to weapons, you want to drag the weapon into one of your hands, basically. So put it in the right hand, and I'm set to right-handed. Alright, so now the only thing we can make at the moment is a sharp rock, and it highlights the thing you're going to make it out of, which I think is very useful. So we can make that. And now we can make a smooth rock, a sundial, or a cork. And a sundial will tell you what time of day or night it is, roughly. I think it tells you like what quarter of the day it is, which is kind of strange, but it's something. Okay. Alright, so generally what you do in the beginning of any playthrough is you want to locate freshwater sources. So you want to walk around and explore. And you also, at least what I like to do, is stick around the coast for the time being, because sometimes there will be raw fish that are just washed up on the shore for some reason. And other times you'll find logs and things like that. So, and you can actually zoom out if you'd like to, you know, just to get a better idea. So I'm going to go over here. Now these things you can harvest. It's some kind of seaweed. But when I've tried to harvest it in this deeper water, I haven't had much luck. But whenever it's in the shallow seawater, it seems to be easier to harvest. Like, I'm in the shallows here, and so now in this deeper water, I can go here and say, collect object with hands. Okay, well, I got it that time. I had tried that on a previous playthrough, and it just was not working. Alright, now you see, here's a goat. You would think that maybe you could take a goat at this point in time. And you might be right. We have a stone spear, which is actually a decent weapon for right here in the beginning. I actually run the risk of dying if I attack this goat right now. But there's a catch here, and that is the goat may or may not just decide to come at me whether I like it or not. And I actually need to let my cat out. I'm sorry. This will take 1 second. I apologize for that. Clearly, I am a very professional YouTuber here. Anyway, so I'm actually going to try to back off here. And maybe he's not going to, you know, like aggro on me. So we might be okay. So I'm just going to kind of, you know. Now, one thing you really need to pay attention to in this game is your stamina. Because as you do things, as you collect things, as you craft things, as you harvest things, as you fight things, everything basically, you're going to be draining that. And you'll need to rest whenever you run out. You can rest, which is a shorter period of time, or you can sleep. And as far as I know, you can't control how long the sleep command actually makes you sleep. But I think when you rest, you can cancel it. So there's another tumbleweed. Well, actually, let's see if we can go ahead and gather that. Now, I have a tool, maybe, that might make this easier to harvest. But I'm going to try with my hands anyway. So that didn't do anything. Let's try with a tool. Okay. So, let's see. And it told me here that my hands did not appear to be the most effective for gathering this resource. So that's something it'll tell you sometimes if you're using basically a good tool. But my botany skill went up. And you'll see that there are more and more notes that we'll get I've already looked through pretty much all of these, I think, and I'm hopefully can fill you in on what they're about. So let's make a string again. All right, well here, tumbleweeds. We got the string. So again, I said we want to look along the coast to see if we can find some easy pickings, some fish to just pick up. Now there's a spider. We don't really want to mess with the spider right now. Let's let's just go anywhere but south. All right. Again, the other thing we're looking for, remember, is fresh water. All right. There's that goat, or possibly a different one. And this is your stone resource here. Basically, you can use any tool that has the gather function, and even your hands. But that's probably not going to work with your hands. But the best tool, obviously, to get stone would be a pickaxe, which should be here on the recipe list, right here. You can see I need a pole and 2 sharpened rocks if I want to make one. So I could use a different tool, basically, to try to get some stone. A hammer is used, as far as I know, mainly for repairing. Actually, it does say that you can gather with a hammer, but I don't want to break that hammer. I want to make sure I have that to repair other things. Let's see how well our hands work. I mean, I might actually injure my hands, which would be pretty sad. But let's just see if we can get some rock. Okay, so we actually did, and our skill in mining is raised to 1%. So we can make a sharp rock. We actually make an arrowhead now too, but we're going to need more rock is the issue. So we're going to try this again. There's more. Let's try it. And you'll notice that our skill is going up, our stamina is going down slightly. Okay, so now we're going to have 2 sharp rocks. The other thing we need is a pole. And basically we're going to need to get that obviously from wood, from a tree. Now, I don't have an axe or anything like that, but I can still use a substitute tool, which I'm assuming would be a sharpened rock, but I don't want to use them because their durability might run out and they might break. So I'm going to use my hands instead. So I just got some leaves there. I may even be able to use my spear as a gathering tool, but again, I don't want to ruin the durability, but let me try it. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Okay, good, so we'll do it this way. Alright, so we've picked up some twigs, some leaves. What we would really need, I would think... You know, it might be smarter to make an axe before the pickaxe. It's just kind of dawning on me at this point. The stone axe... I still need a pole. Let's see. That's the spear. That's the stone spear. Arrow shaft. I apologize for my unfamiliarity with a few of these things. There's a bone pole. I don't see... Okay, well, you can go down here to the filter usually and find something. So we type in pole. There's actually lots of results. I wasn't expecting that many. Fire plow. That's one way of starting a fire, basically. Oh, a boat paddle. Oh, interesting. So you can see all these things that come up here. But a regular wooden pole does not come up at the current time. Alright, that's okay. We're going to keep... Okay, see, I just hurt myself. You hurt your hands by gathering with no tool. So that's not good, but we did get a branch, so we're kind of heading in the right direction. Yeah, we can dismantle this. So we right-click, go to dismantle. And we successfully dismantled it. And you can see that there's now a stone axe available. And also the stone pickaxe, so we could go with either one. Really, I think what would make things easier at this point would actually be to make the axe. Now, I failed to make it. My skill went up a little, but I failed. Tried it again. Now, your components can break during this process, so I hope this works. That did not work. Let's try it again. Okay, there we go. So we got an axe. That's great. I'm going to drag it up into my hotbar there, or my quick slots. And let's see. Okay, so now that I have this, you can right-click on a tool and basically set a default action for you whenever you use it. Like, I could use this axe to carve, but I want to use it right now to gather. And instead of right-clicking on the tree and doing it that way, I can just select gather here with left click. And then when I'm facing a tree, all I have to do is press that hotkey, so 1. And there you go. Alright, so we got several logs, we got a branch, tree bark. Tree bark is good. You can use it to stoke a fire. You can also break it down. And you get stripped bark, which can then be used to make string. And I'm a big fan of string, so that's something to have. Let me go ahead and make that real. So do that first. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to look back at the pick real quick. Okay, so we need another pole, and we need 2 sharpened rocks again. That's okay. Now we can use the axe to try to harvest some stone, and it will be better than our hands. So just get a little... Okay, there we go. And let's glance up at the stamina. We're going to have to rest soon. Alright, so I think we have our 2 sharpened rocks, yeah? Yep. And we just need the pole. And if we dismantle one of these logs, we will get 4 poles, actually. And now you can see there's, once again, lots of things on the menu. There's even a stone anvil. And yes, there are basically crafting stations that allow you to have access to better recipes. There's also storage containers that you'll eventually be able to make. Let's see. So let's get our stone pickaxe. Alright, we failed to make it. Try it again. There it is. Excellent. Put that right there and set it to, it's already set to gather. We can use it as a weapon, but we do have a stone spear, so that won't be necessary. So now it's time to rest a little bit. So we can basically just use our leaf bedroll, right click on it and hit rest. And you see we can see the bars moving. We can cancel whenever we want, or it'll auto cancel. It just auto canceled there. So if we want, we can, you know, do whatever we're going to do now, or we can try resting again. And it might have been... Oh, okay. There's a giant rat. That's okay. We are armed, and I think we can handle this. Quite frankly, I think we'll be okay. I'm not encumbered, so that's good news. Alright, so as I'm sure you're aware, in turn-based combat type of situations like this, you can skip a turn to get the enemy to move within attacking range, so I'm going to hit spacebar. And now to attack him with whatever weapon I have equipped, all I have to do is press in his direction. And you can see right there, I hit a giant rat for 4 damage. You've killed a giant rat, and your skill and tactics has raised to 1%. So that was actually very easy. And what we can do is, if we have like a knife, which we could craft one, or we not at the moment. We could a second ago. But anyway, you could use a knife, you know, to harvest it, or I can just use any sharpened tool I have, really. So I can right click here and say carve with tool. And so you can see that my skill in anatomy is raised, and I got an animal pelt. As long as he's still on the ground there, we can still get more stuff. So we just got a claw. We just got some animal fat. Raw tainted meat. Now you can cook tainted meat, and it might be okay, but it can also be absolutely terrible for you. So this is, as far as I can tell, this is a crapshoot. So normally what I do is I say, oh, well, isn't that lovely? I'm going to face a different direction, and I'm going to drop it. Alright, turn back around here. But now we got some offal or awful. I actually don't know how to pronounce that. And I was dreading that coming up, and I knew it was going to happen. Alright, and then the last thing we'll get is some bone fragments. And that opens up more opportunities, as you can see down here. That's good. And anything you hover over, it's going to tell you in the tooltip what it can be used to craft and what it can be broken down into. The game does a really, really good job of explaining those things in a very concise way. I think it's great. Alright, I'm going to break this tree bark down and make another string. And I'm going to look at just what else we can do. We're going to need a campfire, but I don't want to put it down until I find some water. We still haven't found water. So what I'm going to try to do is rest again and hopefully not get interrupted by a rat or a spider. Okay, we're alright for now. Let's try to, again, locate some fresh water. By the way, the fact that I have not found any fresh water yet is slightly concerning at this point. Normally, I think I would have found at least one square of it by now. And that's usually how you find it, but not always. Sometimes it's in larger pools, ponds, and that type of thing. Alright, so there's a spider again. I think we'll be okay if we fight him at this point. I wish that I could make some kind of armor. I can make a fire plow, actually, and I'm going to spend a turn doing that. I think I got it. Yep, I made that. Okay, that's good. I'm also going to make a bandage in case I get attacked and I start bleeding. That's going to be very important. Let's see if there's anything else I need at the moment. This is a different type of fire starting device here. A lockpick. We already have a hammer. That's good. A suture would be good to have. Similar to a bandage, it can stop bleeding. We'll make one of those. I think we can handle it. I think we can handle it right now. Now, you can get some edible meat from spiders, which is fantastic. Which is why I'm engaging, basically. Alright, so you can see that, you know, I took some damage, and it's clear that whatever armor I'm wearing, which is not really armor, is not especially helpful. Alright, so I make another attack, and I kill him. My tactics skill has raised. And, as usual, we can carve with a tool. And you can see that we got exceptional spider meat. That's great. That is great. And then there's some spider silk. Pick that up. Wow, okay. That's really, really good. So we can cook. So this is what we can do with a fire source. So again, the plan right now is to find fresh water. What is this? Now, I've never found something like this before. It appears the wall is missing. Interesting. I've never really found... I don't think I've found ruins before. Oh, that's actually a container, a wooden chest. Okay. I could steal that. Well, I don't think you can actually move these, can you? I don't think so. There's a bone there, and there's skeletal remain. You know what? I'm not going to touch that. Because one thing I have learned about the game is you will usually find that skeletons can come to life, and it's not a pleasant experience, and I'm not doing that right now. But please keep that in mind. Let's pick up that arrowhead. Alright. Yeah, so this is getting a bit concerning, again, not finding water sources, especially... Now, I have water to drink, and I should probably drink it very soon. It's also going to help me with my stamina. Now, that's seawater, but this is usually what you're going to find, but it's going to be more inland. But that's the size, usually. Alright, there is a goat. Now, some of the smaller trees you can actually move through on the map, like this one. Yeah, I need to, I guess, work my way, see if I can work my way a little more inland here. Now, what is remarkable button mushrooms? And a spruce tree. Let's just gather those with our hands. That didn't work. Oh, okay, I think I should do that. Oh no, I'm facing the wrong way. That's why that's not working. I am brilliant. Okay. Oh, so these, okay, they're not ready to be harvested, so that would be a bad idea. What is that? Bone fragments and gravel. Alright, we haven't been here before. And I'm just keeping my eye on the mountains here. Now there's something there. This is rocks with talc in them. So we could use our stone pickaxe, which is currently set to gather. Yeah, we could go over here and press 2 for the hotkey there. And you see that we got remarkable talc and a large rock, which is nice. However, again, we're focusing on finding water. There is... it's ripening. Okay. I'm just gonna look over here real quick, because like I said earlier, sometimes you find fish just kind of sitting on the shore. Make some string, as always. Alright, there's a branch. Yeah, no fish. I mean, it's okay. We got some meat. Alright, so now it's time to drink the water. Absolutely. So we're gonna right-click on it, drink it. Alright, so we regained 1 health, 25 stamina, sated 1 hunger, and quenched 10 thirst. But of course, the hunger is an issue right now. And now you can eat seeds. I don't know if they do all that much for you. I guess the potato seeds, I mean, normally, obviously, you would want to, you know, sow these seeds, plant them, but I'm going to eat them, and that gave me 2 stamina, sated 1 hunger, and then I gained 1 thirst. Okay. Alright, so there's a pile of rocks. Now, I had heard rumors of islands where water was just incredibly scarce, and so scarce that you basically just had to get out of town immediately. I may have found one of those islands. Alright, there's a rat. We're just going to go ahead and engage here. Alright, already dead. Carve him up a little. Hopefully get some meat. What is that? Fat? That's fat. There's meat. Please don't be tainted. It is tainted. It is tainted. Again, I don't want to take a chance on it. You might want to take a chance on it, and, you know, go ahead, do that. I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, let's see where we're at. A fossil. I actually haven't run into one of those before. Yeah, this... Okay, now here we go. There's fresh water right there. That is the only fresh water we've been able to find. I now have an empty bottle, by the way. Where is it? Right there. So what I can do is just go up to this water source. Right-click the bottle and say gather. There you go. So now you see it's a glass bottle of unpurified fresh water. So I'd have to make a fire of some sort to boil it, basically. What do we need to make a campfire? We need 5 rocks. Well, luckily, we're going to use our pickaxe here. And there we go. That should be enough, right? Yeah. So we can make a campfire. And this is not necessarily a place I want to settle down. But I do need to eat, and I can make another campfire later if I need to. But basically, I can right-click and say build, but I need to be facing the correct direction. So there we go. So now I have a fire starting device, which is... Where is that? Right here, the fire plow. And I have things that can be used to stoke a fire and kindle a fire. So right here it says that this is usually used for kindling, so we have twigs, that's what we need. And we go here and we say start a fire. And that actually worked on the first try, which is incredible. And so basically I can go here and right-click to say stoke the fire. And also right-click here. Oh, never mind. I thought you could do it there. Oh, you cannot. Okay, that's fine. Stoke the fire. Stoke the fire. The flames will get larger and larger. And now that we're standing by a lit fire, we have new options available to us. One thing we can do is make a glass of purified fresh water. Now we actually failed to craft it. Let's try it again. There we go, no problem. Here we have animal glue. We can make that. We can make giblets, which is something you can eat. And you can say it takes offal or awful or whatever. And then some kind of cooking equipment. There we go. So we prepared giblets. So we have some food now, and we have boiled water, which is great. We can actually make a stone knife, which is fantastic. And we can make a bandage, which will also stop bleeding. Make another string. See if there's anything else here that we need at the moment. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the spider meat, I totally forgot. And now we have to cook spider meat. And then so basically we can say, alright, that's great. We can go here and say, let's eat. And there you go. We also have the giblets. Go ahead and eat them. Hope for the best. And our skill in cooking, by the way, is raising as we sample these things that we cooked, so that's very helpful as well. All right, and so let's give it just. Okay, let's just give it a few more minutes here. I'm really curious. Wanted to limit the time of this first episode. I don't know if you guys are really going to be interested in the game or not, but if you are, I'll definitely keep playing it. But I just want to see if there really isn't. I'm going to leave that there for now. There really isn't that much water at all. Kind of getting into the thick of things here and making it difficult to maneuver. Get that out of the way. It's usually not the best thing to do because you're gonna get encumbered fairly quickly. I'm approaching my limit. Just looking for maybe a tree I can move through. It's that one, but I've kind of gotten myself into a maze of trees, which is just my luck. Okay. There's a rabbit up there. That's a good meal. Let's go. It looks like that's just more shoreline down there. Let's go. I'm actually going to stay at this zoom for a moment. Not a smart idea, because something could run up on me. I probably wouldn't even notice it. I thought I could move through that tree. And normally I would just, no! Oh, I thought he had done a lot more damage than he did. Okay. There we go. Now we're doing some damage. I keep missing. That's like my third miss. My fourth? There we go. He's dead. Carve him up. We got spider meat. Our skill and anatomy raised. That's good. We're not bleeding. If we were, there would be... if you get any kind of condition, it'll show up as an icon right here, by the way. Okay, that's stone. I almost thought that was water for a second. I was like, oh, look, there's so much of it. Now, in an earlier game, actually in the multiplayer game I was playing, we found... a slime. I've never found a slime before. We found a cave that had a ton of fresh water in it, and it was amazing. So keep in mind, that type of thing can happen. Wow. Actually, like, we got a, oh, he's fleeing, is he? Oh. There we go. I have never, like I said, never encountered a slime. What do you get? Slime gelatin. Okay. A stone axe is in need of repair. That's what the red outline here means, so we can right-click on it, repair with a stone hammer, and you repair a stone axe, and our tinkering skill has raised. Alright. Alright, rocks with limestone. I have not seen limestone before. That's cool. And you can see that it's now starting to get dark. There's some fresh water right there. Sometimes you'll find it kind of grouped together loosely, especially if you find a swamp biome, by the way. You'll see something on the ground like this grass, but darker green, and you mouse over it and it'll say swamp. There's usually lots of the fresh water around those tiles. But yeah, I think I have an empty bottle right now. Oh no, I have purified water. Oh, I need to drink it too. So anyway, I'm going to drink it. And then I'm going to fill this up with this water. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to have to go ahead and cut this episode here. I kind of just intended it to be, you know, just kind of an introduction to the game. But if you guys want to see more, we could definitely turn this into a full-fledged Let's Play. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching this. I appreciate it. Please hit like and subscribe. Tell your friends. You know what I mean. And I'll see you guys next time.